So I'm posting this video a few days after the beginning of the new year because I think it's usually like 2, 3, 4 days after you make a strong resolution, you kind of mess it up, and it's like, oh, well, forget it. That one's over. So maybe today is a good day to make a new one. Because the whole thing with New Year's resolutions for me has always been like, any day is a very acceptable day to make a positive change in your life. So what I want to do is give you 5 things that I think will absolutely 100% change your life. If you decide today to do these things in this new year, today in this new week, take this next week or this next month and decide to implement these things, 5 things in your life that I think will actually make a significant change in your life. Number 1 is to go to Mass more often. As Catholics, we're obligated to go once a week on Sunday to keep holy the Sabbath and to offer just an hour of our week in worship to the Lord. But what we understand is that in the Mass, we receive Jesus Christ, fully present in the Eucharist. And there is a grace that surpasses any other grace in the actual physical, tangible reception of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. And if we understand that that's what we receive in the Mass, how much more would we want to go? And to receive that grace more than once a week, because most likely you're in an area where the possibility of going to Mass more than once a week is available to you. I personally have for about 1.5 years now started going to daily Mass every day, and it has absolutely changed my life. So number 1, I think maybe this is the one that I think will change your life the most, is to start going to Mass more than once a week. Even if it's just 1 extra time a week, you don't have to all of a sudden commit to going every single day, but at least 1 extra time a week. Go to Mass, not just on Sunday. Maybe it's like a Wednesday or a Tuesday or whatever it is. Go to Mass more often. Number 2, the other regular sacrament that you can receive is confession. I would say, first of all, to go receive the sacrament of confession every time that you commit a mortal sin. As soon as possible after you commit a mortal sin, to be in right relationship with God, to stay in His graces, so that you can go to Mass more often, but also to stay in right relationship with God because that's what we're made for. And I would say, just as good practice, to go to confession like once a month. I challenge you that if you went to confession once a month for every month of this next year, you cannot tell me that your life will not be different at the end of this year. So number 2 is to go to confession more often. Number 3 is to make a daily habit of prayer. To spend silent time in prayer every single day. And I would say to start simply, if it's something that you aren't really in the habit of doing, make it 5 minutes or make it 10 minutes. I'd say 10 minutes because I think you can do it. In fact, I think you could do 15 or 20 minutes, but we'll say 10 to start if it's not your habit. But to slowly build that up to a place where maybe it's at some point half an hour every single day. But to pick a consistent time, I think I've made videos on this channel before about how to start regularly praying every day, but to have the right time, the right place, the right circumstances, to set a daily time of just like quiet, reflective prayer time in your day, every day. Number 4, which is maybe kind of connected to this, but I would say adding on to this is a good challenge, but something that will definitely change your life this year, is to start praying the rosary. To start praying this bad boy regularly. I started doing it maybe a year ago, about a year ago, praying this more regularly. And it hasn't been something I've been super consistent with, but when I have been, I noticed a change in my life, and I'm praying the rosary regularly. Usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes of your day, so if you got the time for it, I'd say as often as possible to regularly pray the rosary. And number 5, I would say to make a resolution to spend less time on social media. Because I think that I spend too much time randomly scrolling through social media. It takes up a lot of my free time. Like those little moments when you just small in-between periods of time. Like for this example I always use is back when I was in school, and when you get to a class early and you have maybe 1.5 minutes before class starts, and you just pull out your phone and waste that time looking through social media, because what else do you do with your time? But those little moments in your day, eliminate those. And just in general, throughout your day to day, spend less time on social media. To make a plan for yourself. Limit the amount of time you spend on there. Maybe it's getting apps off your phone. Maybe it's blocking websites on your phone. whatever it is to spend less time on social media, because it frees up more of your day, frees up more of your mental space, and I think that will change your life this year. So those are my tips. Number 1, go to Mass more often. Number 2, go to confession more often. Number 3, to set a regular daily prayer routine, however long that may be for you. Number 4 is to start praying the rosary more often. Number 5, to get off social media a little bit. Because I think those 5 things will change your life this new year, however you want to implement them, and those can be done in levels depending on where you're at. But I think if you implement at least a few of those things this year, you'll notice change. Come back to this video in a year, and I challenge you to tell me otherwise. Happy New Year. Hope it's a good one.